Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's still the 14th of the 2nd, 1967 again. I don't know, I'm getting that mad in my head. I keep going to say that. And because of the 2nd, so 17th of the 2nd, it's like my birthday. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I do apologise. It's 2017, we all know that. Right, okay. Let's move on swiftly, shall we? Right, mentioning on there that on the news that it's been about 35 years. I forget, I think I said 35 years. I don't write most of this down. They've had cooperation in space with America and Russia and even India and the European Space Agency and all these different countries working together for the exploration of space. And they're saying they've got X amount of probes on there, they've got on Mars, they've done these missions, they're going to have another planned mission to the moon, they're going to go to Mars, they're going to send a mission to Mars, try and check out for life and all that. But all I'm saying is, while there's all these wars kicking off and all this cyber hacking and Russia's got it in for America, and America's got it in for Russia, and all this, that, and the other, and the sanctions and all that. They're still playing ball together. Do you know what I mean? Like this, I mentioned this before. It's funny how they can, like, if the analogy I used before was if your neighbour kept throwing his rubbish over your garden every day, and he was really annoying you, and you really didn't like him, say, you know what I mean? You was putting sanctions on him, you was putting a big offence, and he was still throwing it over. You wouldn't be going tonight, you know, a stargazing club together of a weekend, would you? And cooperating in, oh, you set the telescope up while I fetch the drinks and that. We'll wait for the dark to come, it's a little bit cloudy. Do you want me to get you something warm? Or, I mean, that's the cooperation, like, do you know what I mean? And you wouldn't do that with your neighbour if he was throwing rubbish over your fence. Do you know what I mean? So I get distracted when I watch up there. So if that doesn't go to show you that there is a bigger force behind the scenes that uses countries as a whole and corporates whatever to, well, countries are corporations, right? But to further its exploration of space, that's other than mankind's doing, that is, you know. That you know, it can work together when it got its goal, but then it will fight wars when it suits it as well. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to realise that there are bigger people or entities or things behind the scenes here working as a whole. They get these countries to work together when they want them to work together. It's not the countries individually choosing to do. It's they're told what to do, basically. This is how they can work together. This is how man's going to Mars and yet can't feed his own children on his own planet. Right, I'll digress. I don't want to make it too long, these videos. So yeah, the theme is basically that countries and that can cooperate when it comes to space exploration, but they can't cooperate when it comes to, you know, trade or sanctions or all these wars and all this hatred that's with each other. You know, it just wouldn't happen. You know, you're not going to get the top Russians being accused of cyber hacking this, that and the other for their own benefits, blah, 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 and then work hand in hand with them in the space station and stuff. It doesn't work like that. It's not true. You know, it is to suit them. Okay, I won't go on. I'm just hoping you get the gist of what I mean by that. Rolls-Royce, the company Rolls-Royce, has now just give his figures, and it's the worst losses ever. Something like 4.3 billion losses. But I told you about this the other day, and they were saying on there, the first thing they said was the weak pound. But they couldn't get away with it, really, could they? I had to tell you. And they've said straight out, and the bribery and corruption payouts they've got to pay has left them broke, basically. Well, not broke, because then they went on to say that that's only a bleep in their underlying whatevers. and that actually the company's really strong and in a good, healthy position. And it said something about it had been suffering some of its losses as well because of its North Sea oil operations. See, we don't know nothing about this, do we? And there's something up there that's coming up. So, and I'm dying to tell you about it, but I'll go off on a tangent and I'll lose what I'm talking about now. And I've actually got something to pursue about it. But often, I like to catch the other bits. I'd love to turn the news on now again, because they're going to give you more detail. Yeah. And they're talking about that fuel thing now. Oh, they're talking about the inflation now. Sorry about that, I went off on a tangent. But yeah, bribery and corruption that Rolls-Royce had to pay. So, I think it was around that figure. I know it was an all record-breaking. I know it was a massive amount of some money than ever before. I think it was another record-breaking sum they've had to pay out. But bribery and corruption in many countries. So, you know, I like to go with one of them stories about the elites and the companies and the corporations just running roughshod over everything and everybody. Do you know what I mean? Another thing I'm going to bring into that now is a PSA. It's called the PSA. Well, it must be some sort of conglomerate of companies because they own things like Citroen and Vauxhall, and like, because Vauxhall is going to take over Peugeot, or Peugeot is going to take over Vauxhall. Well, Peugeot's owned by Opel, and it's going to take over Renault and get second place after Volkswagen in the main market. But I hope that sounds confusing in a way, because it is confusing, and the reason it's confusing is because they want it that way. These companies, see how many car companies this PSA own? You've never heard this PSA? They're not even telling you what it is. You know, something automobiles. But all I'm saying to you is, this one company is owning multiple brands of cars. Surely it's a bit like, you know, the competition standards and all that. What if they own too many of all the cars? They can put in what they like, can't they, really? And you can't really get away with it. You know, you can't get away from what they're putting in their cars, if you know what I mean. And how can you trust any of these corporations when they blatantly lie to you? This Volkswagen took a hit. That's part of the espionage on the war, that is. And then another company got hit. Was it Saab or something like that? And they're all doing it anyway. They all lie to you. And it's not just the car companies. It's all the companies are lying to you about what's in your food, about what's in your drugs, about what's in your water, about what's in everything, right? And they wouldn't tell you. Look at those people in Flint. How long were they drinking lead-laden water before anybody did anything about it? They're just going to let these corporations, they go, oh, we're going to lose some money here. Oh, keep the quiet, sonny. You're trying to sort something out. While all these people are dying, and you know, or injuring themselves, or poisoning themselves, whatever. It just goes to show these corporations and how they work, you know, in the shadows, if you know what I mean. You have no idea who owns these companies anymore. You know what I mean? And you should know. And these companies should, like, a lot of them, you know, like, you should have a national car builder, if you know what I mean. Like, that'll build cars, good quality, proper good cars. No crap standards on it, just basic a standard with everything that's good on it, right? And then encourage, you know, your police forces and your, well, not just encourage, you're telling them you've got your doctors, your nurses, your executives, your military brass, and your politicians and all. They're all driving the same cars that's made in this country. Do you know what I mean? If say the power was taken in-house as well, and all the power companies and all the vans and all that were made by our companies, we had brilliant companies here. Rover, I worked for personally, was a brilliant company before the Germans got hold of it and then killed it. Do you know what I mean? LDV vans, you know, Leyland vans, Leyland DAF. I mean, we've had some fantastic automobile factories here. Rolls-Royce and all that, Bentley and all, they're all British, but they're not anymore. They're not anymore. Nothing's owned by Britain anymore. It's all owned by individual rich people that then take the population of these countries, to task over it because they're just robbing and blind. It's not for the people, by the people. It's, you know, by the people, for the few. And that's wrong. But, do you know what? I'm going to quickly say one more thing, just one more thing. And it was about Trump. And he's forced the National Security Officer to resign over some of his dealings with Russia. But I think it was something to do with it. He doesn't misled some of these, you know, misled about what had happened in these meetings or what he knew. And when he's talking to the Russian ambassadors or, you know. So, anyway, I thought I'd mention that right at the end. Right, oh, thank you for watching me. Thank you for upvoting me. Follow me if you're not following me. I love you all, and I'll make another video in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. Bye!